Welcome to Take It Up with Jessica Lee. I'm so excited to have a special guest here, an inventor actually, Val Matula, who is the VP and CTO of Emerging Products and Technology at Avaya. He's got some terrific innovation to share with us and talk about Avaya. Welcome to the show, Val.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
I'm so excited to actually learn about what's been going on the cloud call center and also the unified communication front. And you in particular have like 70 plus patents and another 40 that's pending. So
we're doing a lot at Avaya. We're moving our offers to include and embrace cloud-based offers. Mm-hmm. We're bringing artificial intelligence capability into our customer service offers, contact center, but also omnichannel. And finally, we're moving the company from being one that is selling projects as is into one we're working in a very agile way with our customers mm-hmm. in developing, the custom applications that they need to run their business. So it's like we're changing every part of the business as we move forward.
There's a new branding, experiences matter, right?
That's right. You can't do all that change and not also change a little bit of your branding. Experiences matter because whether you're a customer service situation or you're doing a conference between employees or it's a manager-employee discussion, the experience that technology can allow them to have is important. And the better the technology, the more seamless and the better that interaction is going to be. That's the experience we're putting out there for all those constituents.
Well, there's a lot of talk about AI and machine learning, mm-hmm. And that can be very powerful in call center, making a huge impact in the efficiency of the operation and the business results too. Can you share with us some of those stories that you've been working on and seeing the results?
Sure. I mean, AI is a broad topic, and there's different, as you pointed out just here, there's a number of different subtopics for AI. One area that we're seeing a lot of traction on is using modeling and predictive analytics mm-hmm. to characterize past interactions between customers and agents. Figure out what the attributes are of the customers. Figure out what the attributes are of the agents, their skills, their personality, their demographics. And then build a model that says these types of customers will get the best experience, whether it's selling something to them or collecting money if you're doing debt collection, etc., with these types of agents. Building that model takes some time, but delivers tremendous results. We've got customers that collect maybe $3,000 a day from their, doing part of their debt collection on average with an agent. Using techniques like this, they increase it to $4,000 to $5,000, even sometimes as much as $20,000 per day. So when you have those tremendous, I can get a third more, I can improve, 100% or more type results, that gets the attention of everyone. And it's very easy to establish a return on investment for that type of project.
Yeah, I like that story a lot. Yeah. I think a lot of companies are out there doing the projects that will move them, transform their business, be competitive. Mm-hmm. But what's real? Like what can they do now that's truly can make an impact, immediately in the business?
So using predictive analytics is one area that we are able to deliver to customers right here, right now. Mm-hmm. We've developed a set of capabilities inside of Avaya, and we've worked very strongly to allow us to integrate with other leaders in the business as part of our AI Connect program. Mm-hmm. Let me give you an example. One of the companies that we recently made some announcements with is Affinity. They're a company that makes it their business to help pair incoming customer inquiries with agents, whether it be a call or a chat or an email interaction. And so what we've done inside of Avaya is augmented our product, modified it, created new APIs so that it's even easier for a company like Affinity to come into an enterprise, say, I've got software, I can easily test it with you, show you how well it works, mm-hmm. and allow you to then use it, as an ongoing business. That's the sort of work we're doing inside of Avaya to help better partner with our AI Connect community.
And you also are working on some really exciting innovations in mobility too, right? In security, mobility, authentication, and all that.
Yes. One of the things that we're doing is taking a step back, looking at who has information about the consumer or the employee, and saying, what could we do with that if we could get that information, that identity, into the enterprise, and then looking at how can we do that. So, for example, the cell phone that you might have in your pocket or in your purse is with a carrier that knows a good deal about you. And carriers exchange information between themselves in order to establish identity, establish background, and so forth. Fine. If you use your cell phone to connect with an enterprise, generally the last mile provider doesn't let that flow to the enterprise. They just say, here's the number that's calling, or here's the person that's reaching out. And we said, why don't we somehow open that up so that the information that's available about you as a mobile provider that you've consented to allow to be shared is actually shared with the business that you're trying to call to help you give a better experience. So we opened up and basically became a mobile operator. And so an arm of our business now is we will be that middleman, and we will share that information down to the enterprise so that your information and also identity, etc., in a more confirmed manner can be shared with the call center, with the enterprise, with the agent, so that they can do a better job of serving you. And we're getting tremendous traction on this.
One of the things that I really like when I was talking to one of your inventors around mobility is if I'm using a mobile phone to call and get help on something, you as an agent will realize that with a mobile phone, you can push text, you can do a lot more in communicating with me than just the typical voice.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. We had and that goes back to what do you have in your hand, what do you have with you, and let's take advantage of that. Let's build the infrastructure, the connections, the integrations, so that you can get a better experience by having all the pieces in place between you and the agent. Now, as I like to tell people, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, oh, I should call the airline today. It starts with going on a website, using a mobile application, using a travel agency application if you work for a company. And so one of the things we did a couple of years ago with good success was tying together the mobile app for one of our travel agency customers, that when you call, you don't actually call. You click and say, call me back as soon as you have an agent available. But that request picked up all that information out of the mobile app, sent it into the call center over the internet, so that when the callback comes, the agent knows exactly what you were looking at, can establish that link. What we found is it reduced agent time 8% in serving that customer. That's perfect, because now the company likes it because they're reducing agent cost and time and handling. The employee likes it because they said, it's faster if you click for callback out of the app. They tell their coworkers, don't just call them. Click out of the app. It's going to be better for you. And so it's a virtuous upward circle, if you would, of reinforcement. Those are the type of projects I like to find and like to encourage.
And it's a great customer experience.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So I like that. That's great. I think a lot of people may not be aware, but Avaya is a $1.7 billion market cap company. So maybe if you could talk a little bit about the history of Avaya and where it's going. And you've been with the company for over 5 years.
I'm pushing 30, so it's definitely over 5. The company comes out of the lineage of AT&T Bell Laboratories. So, long history of understanding communication on a very broad scale, and with the need for being global, as well as long-term support. Lucent got spun off. This activity was part of Lucent, and then Lucent spun off the enterprise business, which became Avaya in the early 2000s. Avaya is really a combination of two things. It's a combination of forward-looking, innovative, global employees that are meeting today's and going forward needs of our customers. So, we're we're at the front of cloud, AI utilization, on and on. At the same time, we have a history and a knowledge on the inside of how to do something large at scale with the ability from the beginning to plan for maintainability, support, we would call it day two. And so it's that combination of, like a startup, having a forward look, but at the same time, like a large company, knowing what it takes to keep the biggest banks in America and around the world running, the largest airlines, being able to take your interaction is a good combination to be at, which is why so many people are excited about, the company's future.
Now, there are some young startups, or I wouldn't say startup, but the newer players like Twilio, coming out with pure cloud solutions and all that. Maybe if you could talk about Avaya's cloud products or products
Sure. So, no secret, Avaya's history, the history of the industry, was if you need something, we're going to put it in your premise as a system, whether it be hardware or software only, virtual machines, etc. But there's a history of knowing that there's a class of customers that don't really want to manage that and don't really want to oversee it. So one of the first steps we did some years ago was to say, same equipment, same footprint, we'll take care of it for you. We'll manage it. We call that hosted cloud. Right? People go farther. They say, that's great, but I actually want to buy it as I need it. So we provided utility pricing. The next step is they say, I would like the ability to pick up services and features and buy it as I need it, which is slightly different than utility pricing. It literally is what most people think of as cloud. I'd like to sign up, swipe my credit card, and get service. That's not something that, a large bank, the top 5 banks in the U.S. want to do immediately, but we know that they would like that flexibility of quickly getting those types of services. And so that's the next wave of what we're bringing out here to the marketplace. And our recent acquisitions have been part of that game plan.
Can you talk more about that?
Well, for example, we purchased at the beginning of this year when we went public again, the Spoken company. Okay. And so that was one example of the capabilities we're bringing to market. And there's been others, recent moves in terms of executives coming to us that have deep retail cloud experience. And so you just see a continuing motion here, if you would, towards providing all those different capabilities.
Okay. I think Avaya has a pretty good name out there as far as one of the top contact center solution providers and unified communication solution providers. But on the marketing front, I think now you're pushing new branding, new messaging, a lot more digital marketing to get the words out, right?
That's true.
Are you seeing the impact of that?
Absolutely. So what we're seeing here, and this is, again, not just in the United States, but globally, what I would call a 3-step program. So first off, having the material, putting it out there in digital form, and being at events, if you would, that are the start of the program. We were a substantial footprint at GITEX in Dubai this past fall. That's one of the places where innovation runs the fastest in the world. And so we were there front and center with new solutions that we put forward. We capture that. We make sure the world is available. Literally, our worldwide marketing team has that information captured. And then we push it into the different theaters and into the individual countries with their marketing programs, translating where necessary so that the world understands what we're doing at GITEX, at Enterprise Connect, at our EBCs, and with our product announcements. So it's a global push that we manage from our Santa Clara office, but it's one that's been very effective here in the last 18 months.
Good, wonderful. Glad to hear that. So you've got great technology coming out, staying competitive. You've got a much stronger digital marketing engine now. What would you say would be the challenges for Avaya then to not dominate and be number one?
I think it's the challenges that every company faces in the technology sector, which is, and so is everyone else. Everyone else is making the claims of we're fast, we're nimble, we're not like the other guys, we've got the best technology, and the proof's in the pudding. So the proof's in the pudding, and one of the one of the things that we're working on and continue to work on is to make sure that we just don't have product, but that we have services and professional services that can help a customer figure out what they need, install and put together what they need, and help them move to the next phase and the next phase. Having the accurate product, having partners that can work with us and bring technology to us that, we're never going to develop everything on the inside. And then finally, having flexible models, commercial models with our customers so that they can buy it the way they need it and consume it the way they want and have assurance that they can have service the day after and the day after as they go forward. So those are the challenges that we have, and we have teams in different ways, our legal teams, our professional services teams, our product teams, addressing each of those as we go forward.
Okay, well, that's wonderful to hear, and I think Avaya has definitely got a bright future. We didn't have a chance to talk about your patents. So one of the things that I noticed is you have 40 patents pending, and some of it is about social media.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's absolutely
Can you
right.
share about that? Because I think it's fascinating.
So let me give you an example of one of the most recent patents that was granted to us. When you come into a contact center and you're trying to do a natural language interaction, thanks for calling, or you're speaking with an agent, there's certain language, certain vocabulary that you're going to use, and it's going to be based upon you, your background, maybe other languages and so forth. The call center is going to run better if it knew all that information. So one of the patents we have is when you connect with it for customer service, for the system to go look at your social media interactions with the company, perhaps public postings, and try to figure out what language do you use? What's your secondary language? What sort of vocabulary do you use? Are you hip and now, or are you legacy and formal? And from that, coach the speech recognition engines a little bit on how to interact with you. It's just an example of tying together two pieces of information that end up helping the experience.
I see. You get to know the person a lot more.
Exactly.
Okay. Wow,
Exactly.
That's powerful.
So, those are the type of things we look for and make sure that we try to patent. Going forward, you spoke a little bit about, the things that we've done and what our challenges are. We have a regular cadence where we're coming to the marketplace with what we do, and it's based some around events in the industry. So we hold a users group in which we bring together our customers as well as industry experts and our partners. That's in January. We are regularly at major events. I spoke of GITEX and some of the other ones. And so the point is, every year we take a look at where we are. We see how much we've advanced across that year. And over the years, as we walk our way through, we're developing a great track record that we hope to keep going as we go forward.
Okay. I've learned a lot, and it's been a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much, Val, for being on the show.
Absolutely. I always enjoy talking to people about what we're doing and a little more depth than normal about, how we do it. So thank you very much for inviting me, and look forward to meeting and being with you again.
Yes, we'd love to have you come back on the show. That's Tech It Up with Jessica Lee.